Hey everyone, it's CL, and in today's video I'm directing it more towards non-readers or newer readers, people who want to get into reading or find that they don't like reading but want to get into it. So this is my video providing advice for like non-readers or newer readers. So first and foremost, when it comes to people who I have come across who say that they don't like to read, I think one of the reasons why they say they don't like to read is because they found it more like a form of punishment, like they had to do it and they didn't enjoy it, or they had a really bad experience. Maybe they had to read out loud in class and they got made fun of because they messed up on a lot of words, or because they read too slow in comparison to everyone else. So that negative association when it comes to books. So my advice is to give books another chance. That if you've seen it as a form of punishment, especially if you're not in school anymore, remind yourself that you now have the ability to choose the books that you want to read. No genre is a bad genre. So if you like to read middle grade and you're an adult, you know, feel free to read middle grade. If you like to read cheesy romance, go for it. Read your cheesy romance novels. Pick the genre that you find you would enjoy. Give books another chance. And as far as having like a negative experience as far as reading too slow, remember that you have the power to be home when you read. You can read what you want. You can read as slow as you want. If it takes you a month to get through a book, as long as you're enjoying the book, you know, go ahead and read at your own pace. And if you mess up on words, if you feel like, oh, I'm reading this book, but every other word, I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing it right, the more you read, the better you're going to get at recognizing newer words that you're coming across. And it's fine if you don't understand what a word means. Like I read a lot and I still come across words that I don't know the meaning, what they mean, and I will either look it up, I will write it down and I will look it up. That's my method. But if you're reading and then you come across a word that you don't understand, if you want to just skip it and continue reading, as long as you can still grasp the storyline, it doesn't hurt that if you want to skip that word. But if you want to be proactive and write the word down and learn what it means so you can get a much more detailed grasp of what is happening, feel free to do that as well. There is no rule that says you have to read a certain way, you have to know what every word means. Just remember that you are reading for pleasure and you can follow your own rules when it comes to reading. And another thing I come across when it comes to people who say they don't like to read is that they find it too boring. And when I think of that, I honestly feel that you are not picking the correct books. And I think of this the way people order sushi. A lot of people say they don't like sushi, but I have the theory is that they're ordering wrong. So if you're ordering sushi and you really hate avocados, don't order the caterpillar roll because that is just all avocado. So if you are more like a crunchy person, you want to go after something like a spider roll that's like crunchiness, you know? So that's how I think about selecting book genres. You want to pick a book genre that you will enjoy. And if you are a new reader and you're just not sure what genre you would enjoy, if you kind of just feel like you're going in blind, think about the movies you like, think about the TV shows that you watch. So if you like watching movies, what type of movies do you tend to enjoy watching? Is it more action-packed? Is it like suspenseful? Is it more like romantic humor? Think about what types of movies and TV shows you enjoy watching, what types hold your attention, and that will help you decide what sort of genres you should probably get into. So first and foremost, determine what type of books you would potentially like based off of what your movie tastes are, what your TV tastes are. So if you like science fiction, if you like fantasy, you know that when it comes to that genre, more likely than not, you will like that genre when it comes to books. And then once you find your genre and want to browse different types of books, just don't pick one out of the blue. Really go after those keywords when you're looking through book reviews. If you're someone with a short attention span, you want to look for those keywords that say fast-paced, page-turner, could not put it down. You want to look for those keywords. And if you're someone who likes a really long and drawn out storyline, you can, you know, look for those keywords that say like a lot of world building, really intricate plot line, you know, you want to look for those keywords. Okay, I'm back. My battery died, the camera fell, it was sort of a mess. So I'm back now, so let's get back to what I was saying. So also, when it comes to having like a short attention span, and if you're someone who gets really discouraged when it comes to how fast you're finishing a book, or you get really discouraged that you're not able to finish a book, you just have not had the ability to do that, I honestly recommend reading a shorter book. There's a lot of books out there that are really long, like 300 pages long, 400 pages long. Really go after those books that are a little over 100 pages long, because not only are they captivating, of course, look for one that has good reviews. Do you always want to base things off of reviews? No, but if you're a new reader or just getting into reading, you know, it's okay to go look at those reviews and look for those that have like a 5-star review, because chances are, if a lot of people are reviewing it at 5 stars, the chances of you liking it a little more, if it is a genre that you like, that the chances are you're going to enjoy it as well. But what I mean is that focus on shorter books, like 100+ pages, because if you have a short attention span, events in the book are going to happen a lot quicker at a faster pace, because the story ends so quickly within 100 or so pages. And if you're someone who gets discouraged with how fast you're reading, or that you just can't finish a book, you've never finished a book before, if you read a shorter book, you'll be able to get through it a lot quicker. And not only that, is that you're able to build your reading muscles. I see it as building up your reading muscles, in the sense that you are starting off with the shorter book, and once you learn that you have the ability to enjoy a book, enjoy the storyline, once you learn the process of, okay, this is how much time it takes me to read, I have found my routine in making time to read, is that once you build up your reading muscles, you can move on to the books that are a lot longer, maybe 200, 300 pages. And I think of it as building your reading muscles in the sense you get to know how a book is set up. That in the beginning, there is some buildup. Like, it's not going to just jump right in. So when you do go towards those books that are a lot more pages, you will know that probably the first 100 pages in the book is just setting up, and then once you get into the middle, that is where all the action happens, and where, you know, it really drags you through the mud as far as storyline, and it's just building up those reading muscles. And if you start off with the shorter books, you will learn how books are set up and what to expect as far as beginning, middle, end, and you will, you know, and you will learn like what it's like to finish a story, what it's like to finish a book. So, and I feel like a lot of times when people read, especially if you don't like to read, is that you start off the book and it's just not holding your attention. But if you would have stuck with the book a little longer, it would have all came together and just took you on a journey, took you on an adventure that you could not even fathom in your wildest imagination. So that's why I say, please give reading a chance. Please give books a chance, because that's one thing I really, really feel sad about when I hear people say that they don't like to read, that they don't like books, is that I feel like they're missing out on a lot. Sometimes people will say like, oh, people that like to read are really boring. People that like to read are missing out in life, and I totally disagree with that. If you do not like to read, I think there is a whole nother side to life that you are missing, that there is a whole other aspect of your brain that you're not utilizing, that you're not exercising. And I know that if you're a non-reader, that might not resonate very much, but if you are someone who just loves reading, you will know exactly what I'm talking about as far as being taken on an adventure, you know? So what other advice do I have when it comes to being a new reader, someone who wants to get into reading? Is that especially if you've fallen into the Booktube community, like you want to get into reading, you found this community on YouTube called Booktube. Now, one thing I want to stress to new readers, that do not get into the mode of thinking that you see these booktubers online and you feel pressured that in order to be a reader, in order to be a good reader or a person who likes to read, that you have to read all these books. There's a lot of people on Booktube who can really churn out the books that they read. Please keep in mind that these are people who have been reading a long time. If you are a newer reader, do not focus on the amount of books that you're reading, on the amount of books that you're completing. Instead, focus on the amount of time you're spending reading. So if you are a non-reader and you normally read zero amount of time, try to make it a goal that you read 5 minutes a day, and then build up to it, that 1 month, every day, you're going to make it a goal to read 5 minutes a day. The next month, make it a goal to read 10 minutes a day. And then, you know, build up those reading muscles, like I said earlier, to have it to where you look forward to reading, to where you pick up a book and you start reading, and before you know it, when you look at the clock, an hour has passed. So that is what you're building up to. Today, you were starting at 5 minutes. Later down the line, you are ending with being lost in a book to where you lost track of time. So that is all I have for now. I'm sure there's a lot more that is left to be said. So if you are someone who enjoys to read, please leave me a comment down below letting me know what advice you would give to non-readers or newer readers. And if you are someone who is getting into reading, please let us know what you think down below. Are you discouraged? What encourages you? What discourages you? Let's open up the discussion in the comment section. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.